It's 3 a.m. and your mind won't stop. You're lying in bed, eyes closed but sleep won't come. Your mind is racing, replaying that conversation from earlier, the one where you said the wrong thing, or maybe didn't say enough. Now they probably think you're stupid, or rude, or weak. Then your brain jumps to tomorrow, the presentation, the meeting, the difficult conversation you've been avoiding. You see it going wrong. You imagine every possible disaster, every way you could fail. Your chest feels tight. Your heart is pounding. You check your phone 3:17 a.m. You have to be up in 4 hours, which makes you more anxious because now you won't get enough sleep, which means tomorrow will be harder, which means you're more likely to mess up, which makes you more anxious. The spiral continues. This isn't just worry. This is your mind becoming your enemy. This is anxiety. And millions of people are experiencing this exact thing right now. Tonight, tomorrow night, every night. But here's what most people don't know. 2,000 years ago, 3 men faced situations far worse than your 3 a.m. spiral. And they discovered something that still works. Not positive thinking. Not pretending everything is fine. Not just relax. Real tools. Rules that actually calm a racing mind. Let me introduce you to them. The 3 men who conquered anxiety. Epictetus was born a slave. Owned. His name literally means acquired one. His master broke his leg, some say on purpose, others say through neglect. He spent years being beaten, controlled, powerless. Imagine that level of anxiety. You own nothing, not even yourself. Your life could end at any moment based on someone else's mood. Marcus Aurelius ruled the Roman Empire during its collapse. A plague killed millions under his watch. Barbarians invaded his borders. His own children died in his arms. The Senate plotted against him. Every decision could save thousands or kill thousands. Imagine carrying that weight. Imagine going to sleep knowing that people died today because of choices you made, knowing more will die tomorrow. Seneca was one of Rome's wealthiest men, a philosopher and advisor to emperors. Then Emperor Nero, a paranoid tyrant, decided Seneca was a threat. The order came, kill yourself. Seneca had hours to prepare for his own death. Imagine receiving that news. You're going to die today, by your own hand, and there's nothing you can do about it. These men faced the kind of anxiety that would break most of us. And yet, none of them broke. They discovered 9 rules. Rules for surviving when your mind turns against you. Let me show you what they learned. Rule 1. Focus only on what you control. Epictetus is in the kitchen of his master's house. He's preparing food when another slave rushes in with news. The master is angry. Someone displeased him. He's looking for someone to punish. Epictetus feels his chest tighten. This could be bad. This could be very bad. But then he stops himself. He remembers something he's been teaching himself. There are things within his control and things outside his control. Outside his control, whether the master punishes him, whether the master is in a bad mood, whether today is the day he gets beaten again. Inside his control, how he responds, whether he lets fear control him, whether he maintains his dignity regardless of what happens. He writes later, "Some things are up to us, and some are not up to us. Our opinions are up to us, and our impulses, desires, aversions in short, whatever is our own doing." He cannot control the master's anger, but he can control whether that anger owns his mind. The punishment comes. It always does. But Epictetus remains calm inside, not because it doesn't hurt, but because he's stopped fighting what he cannot change. You're anxious about the meeting tomorrow, about what they'll think, whether you'll say the right thing, whether they'll approve. Stop. What can you actually control? You can't control their thoughts. You can't control their mood when they walk in. You can't control whether they like you or whether they're having a bad day. You can control how prepared you are, how you respond to questions, whether you stay calm when challenged, whether you show up with integrity. That's it. That's the list. Everything else, you're wasting energy trying to control the uncontrollable, and that wasted energy is what's making you anxious. Stop trying to control other people's opinions. Stop trying to control outcomes. Control your effort. Control your response. Let everything else go. Rule 2. Stay in this moment, not imagined futures. Marcus Aurelius receives a report. The plague numbers are worse. Much worse. If this continues, Rome could lose a third of its population. His mind immediately jumps forward. He sees Rome empty. He sees the empire collapsing. He sees barbarians walking through abandoned cities. He sees the end of everything. Then he catches himself. He writes, "Confine yourself to the present, not because the future doesn't matter, but because the future hasn't happened yet. And imagining it in detail doesn't prepare you, it paralyzes you. The present moment has a problem, rising plague deaths. The present moment has an action, organize medical response, coordinate food distribution, maintain order. The imagined future where Rome falls? That's not real. It's a story his anxiety is telling him." So Marcus forces himself back. What needs to be done today? Just today. Not next month. Not next year. Today. And today becomes manageable. You're spiraling about everything that could go wrong. The relationship might end. The project might fail. Your career could be over. You could end up alone and broke. Stop. Come back. What's actually happening right now? Right now, you're breathing. Right now, you're okay. The disasters you're imagining, they haven't happened. They're not real. They're stories about possible futures. And here's the thing about those stories. Most of them never happen. You've been anxious about thousands of things in your life. How many of them actually occurred the way you feared? Maybe 5%. Maybe less. The other 95% was wasted suffering over things that never came to pass. Stop time traveling to fictional futures. Come back to now. What needs to be done right now? Just the next step. That's all you need to handle. Rule 3. Separate facts from fear stories. Seneca receives the message. Emperor Nero wants to see him. Immediately. His mind starts writing stories. This is it. Nero's finally decided to kill me. I'm going to be executed. Everything I've built will be destroyed. My family will suffer. But then he stops. He practiced this. The Stoic discipline of separating what's happening from what he's telling himself about what's happening. The fact. Nero requested a meeting. The story. This means death. The reality. He doesn't know what it means yet. Maybe it's death. Maybe it's not. But sitting here terrifying himself with stories doesn't change what's coming. It just makes him suffer twice, once in imagination, once in reality if it actually happens. So Seneca breathes, separates fact from story, and waits to see what's actually real. Your boss sends a message, "We need to talk." Immediately your mind creates a disaster movie. You're getting fired. They found out about that mistake. Everyone's been complaining about you. Your career is over. But what actually happened? Your boss sent 4 words. "We need to talk." That's the fact. Everything else is a story your anxiety wrote. Maybe it's bad news. Maybe it's good news. Maybe it's nothing important at all. But you're torturing yourself with a story before you even know what's real. Anxiety doesn't predict the future. It just makes you suffer in advance for things that might never happen. Practice this. When anxiety hits, write down the facts. Just the facts. What actually, concretely happened. Then write down the story your mind created about those facts. You'll see how much of your suffering is self-inflicted. How much energy you're wasting on fictional problems. Facts you can deal with. Stories you can recognize as stories. That recognition alone cuts anxiety in half. Rule 4. Prepare your mind for worst outcomes. Marcus Aurelius sits in his tent the night before battle. Thousands of men will fight tomorrow. Many will die. He could distract himself, could think about something else, could hope for the best. He does the opposite. He deliberately imagines the worst. The battle could be a disaster. His strategy could fail. He could lose hundreds of men. He could be blamed. History could remember him as the emperor who lost. He sits with these images, lets himself feel the fear, the shame, the weight of responsibility for deaths that haven't happened yet. Why torture himself like this? Because when you've already faced something in your mind, reality can't shock you the same way. He writes, "Begin each day by telling yourself, 'Today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness.' Not pessimism, preparation. By the time battle comes, Marcus has already been to the worst places mentally. Whatever happens, he's already survived it in imagination. The real thing, even if it's terrible, won't break him. You have something difficult coming, a hard conversation, a risky decision, a moment where everything could go wrong. Your instinct is to avoid thinking about it, to hope it goes well, to distract yourself until it's over. Do the opposite. Sit down. Imagine it going badly, really badly. See the worst realistic outcome. Feel what that would be like. Then ask yourself, if that happens, how will I respond? What will I do next? Can I survive it? The answer is almost always yes. You can survive it. It would suck. It would hurt. But you'd get through it. And once you've mentally survived the worst case, the actual event loses its power to terrorize you. This is how you build an iron mind. Not by avoiding scary thoughts, but by facing them deliberately until they can't ambush you anymore. If these rules are helping, hit that subscribe button. We're creating a space for people who need real tools for real struggles. No fluff, just ancient wisdom that actually works. Now let's continue. Rule 5. Accept that uncertainty is normal. Epictetus watches his master leave for the day. He has no idea what mood the master will return in. Good mood? Bad mood? Will today be painful or peaceful? He has no control over this. And he'll never have control over it. Uncertainty is his constant companion. Most people would be driven mad by this, the not knowing, the inability to predict safety. But Epictetus makes a different choice. He accepts that uncertainty is the natural state of existence, not just for slaves, for everyone. He writes, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." This isn't resignation. It's reality. You cannot know for certain what tomorrow brings. You cannot know how that conversation will go. You cannot know if your plans will work. You cannot know if the people you trust will stay trustworthy. You want certainty. Your mind craves it. But life doesn't provide it. And your anxiety? It's often just your mind screaming at the universe, "Tell me what's going to happen. Give me certainty." But the universe doesn't answer. It never will. Uncertainty is the price of being alive. You can spend your life fighting this reality, drowning in anxiety because you can't know the future. Or you can accept that uncertainty is normal and stop demanding what life cannot give you. You want to know if the relationship will work out, if the job will come through, if your health will hold, if you made the right choice. You can't know. Not for certain. Not yet. And that's okay. That's just how life works. For everyone. For all of history. Uncertainty is the water we all swim in. Stop treating it like an emergency. Stop acting like not knowing means something's wrong. Not knowing is normal. It's supposed to feel this way. The discomfort of uncertainty isn't a sign that you need to figure everything out right now. It's just the human condition. Breathe. Accept that you can't know yet. Make your best decision with the information you have. Then let go of the rest. Rule 6. Don't expect life to be fair. Marcus Aurelius buries another child. He's lost count of which one this is. Fourth? Fifth? He could rage at the gods. Could demand to know why this keeps happening. Why him? Why his children? What did they do to deserve this? But he doesn't. Because he learned something that most people never accept. Life doesn't care about fair. He writes, "The universe is change. Life is opinion. Bad things happen to good people. Constantly. All through history. Disease doesn't check if you're virtuous before it strikes. Accidents don't ask if you deserve them." Marcus could spend his energy demanding fairness from a universe that doesn't operate that way. Or he can accept what is and decide how to respond. He chooses acceptance. Not because it hurts less, but because fighting reality only adds suffering to suffering. Something unfair happened to you. You worked hard and didn't get the promotion. You were loyal and got betrayed. You did everything right, and it still went wrong. And now you're stuck in bitterness, replaying it, demanding to know why, insisting it shouldn't have happened. But it did happen, and whether it was fair or not doesn't change that it happened. Your anxiety about fairness is your mind refusing to accept reality. You're arguing with what already occurred. You're demanding that the past be different. It won't be. It can't be. The past is done. This doesn't mean you accept being treated badly. It doesn't mean you don't fight for justice. It means you stop torturing yourself with the expectation that life should be fair. It's not fair. It never was. It never will be. Not for you. Not for anyone. Once you accept that, the bitterness starts to fade. You stop wasting energy on why me and start spending energy on what now. Rule 7. Use obstacles as training. Epictetus is beaten again. Another punishment. Another reminder that he's powerless in this life. Most people would be broken by this, would give up, would let bitterness poison everything. Epictetus does something strange. He uses it. He treats every difficulty as training, every obstacle as practice for Stoic principles, every hardship as an opportunity to prove that external circumstances don't control his internal state. He writes, "Difficulties are things that show a person what they are. The beating? That's a test. Can he maintain his dignity while being degraded? Can he stay calm while being hurt? Can he separate what's being done to his body from who he is in his mind? Every day brings a new test. Every day brings a new chance to practice." And slowly, impossibly, he turns slavery into a philosophy school. You're facing something hard right now. A difficult person, a frustrating situation, an obstacle that won't move. You can see this as pure suffering, as evidence that life is against you, as reason to be anxious and bitter. Or you can see it as Epictetus did, training. This difficult boss, training in patience. This toxic family member, training in boundaries. This failure, training in resilience. The obstacle doesn't get easier, but your relationship to it changes. It's no longer just happening to you. It's developing you. Every time you stay calm when provoked, you get stronger. Every time you respond with integrity when treated badly, you prove to yourself what you're made of. The obstacle becomes the way. The thing blocking you becomes the thing building you. This doesn't mean you love the difficulty. It means you stop wasting it. You stop just suffering. You start learning. Rule 8. Remember, everything is temporary. Seneca sits with the knowledge that he's going to die. Today. Maybe in an hour, maybe less. Terror would be natural. Most people would spend their final moments drowning in fear and regret. Seneca does something different. He remembers what he's taught for years. Everything is temporary. This life was always going to end. Today or tomorrow or years from now, it was always temporary. The same is true for everything. He writes, "All that exists is in a manner the seed of that which will be. Every good moment passes. Every bad moment passes. Pain is temporary. Joy is temporary. Fear is temporary. Even life itself is temporary." This isn't depressing. It's liberating. If everything is temporary, then this moment of fear will pass. This period of suffering will end. This anxiety you're feeling right now won't last forever. You're drowning in anxiety. It feels permanent. It feels like this is just who you are now. Like you'll always feel this way. You won't. You can't. Nothing lasts forever. Not even anxiety. This acute panic you're feeling, it will fade. Maybe in an hour, maybe in a day, but it will fade. This difficult period of your life, it will end. Not because you force it to, but because everything ends. Everything changes. Everything passes. When you're in the middle of suffering, it's hard to believe this. It feels endless. But look back at your life. How many things felt permanent that aren't anymore? That relationship that felt like forever, where is it now? That job you thought you'd never escape, are you still there? That anxiety that consumed you 5 years ago, do you even remember what it was about? Everything passes. This will too. This doesn't minimize your pain. It gives you perspective. It reminds you that you've survived 100% of your bad days so far. This one won't be different. Hold on. It will pass. Everything does. Rule 9. Write to calm your racing mind. Marcus Aurelius returns to his tent after another impossible day. His mind is chaos, decisions to make, deaths to account for, fears about tomorrow. He could drink, could distract himself, could collapse into sleep and hope tomorrow is better. Instead, he writes. He opens his journal and starts processing, not for anyone else, just for himself, getting the chaos out of his head and onto paper where he can see it. He writes, confine yourself to the present. He writes, you have power over your mind, not outside events. He writes, everything is only for a day, both that which remembers and that which is remembered. He's not creating new philosophy. He's reminding himself of what he keeps forgetting, because stress makes you forget. Anxiety makes you stupid. You need the reminders. This becomes his nightly ritual. No matter how tired, no matter how bad the day was, he writes. And slowly, the racing mind calms. Not because the problems disappeared, but because writing creates distance between him and his thoughts. Your mind won't stop. The same thoughts loop endlessly. The same fears replay. The same what-ifs multiply. Stop trying to think your way out of it. You can't solve anxiety with more thinking. Write it down instead. Not fancy, not for anyone else. Just dump it on paper. What are you actually afraid of? Write it. What's the worst that could happen? Write it. What can you control? Write it. What do you need to let go? Write it. Getting it out of your head and onto paper does something your mind can't do on its own. It creates separation. It turns the storm in your head into words on a page. Words you can look at. Words you can evaluate. Words that stop controlling you the moment they become visible. This is why Marcus wrote every night. Not because he enjoyed it, because it worked. You don't need to write philosophy. You just need to write honestly. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, however long it takes to empty the chaos onto paper. Then read it back. See how much of it is real and how much is story. See what you can control and what you can't. See your anxiety as words instead of as identity. Writing doesn't make problems disappear, but it makes them manageable, and manageable is all you need. Why this still works. Epictetus died in 135 AD, Marcus Aurelius in 180 AD, Seneca in 65 AD. They've been gone for nearly 2,000 years. The world they lived in doesn't exist anymore. Slavery is different. Empires have fallen. Technology has transformed everything. But anxiety? Anxiety is exactly the same. The same racing mind at 3 a.m. The same spiral of what-ifs. The same drowning feeling when you can't control what's happening. These 9 rules worked then. They work now. Not because life got easier, but because the human mind hasn't changed. You still need to separate what you control from what you don't. You still need to stay in the present moment. You still need to recognize when you're telling yourself fear stories instead of dealing with facts. The obstacles are different. The principles are the same. Use them, not because they're ancient wisdom that sounds impressive. Use them because they actually work when your mind becomes your enemy. Here they are one final time. Focus only on what you control. Everything else is wasted energy. Stay in this moment, not imagined futures. The future doesn't exist yet. Separate facts from fear stories. Most of your suffering is fiction. Prepare your mind for worst outcomes. Face your fears before they ambush you. Accept that uncertainty is normal. You were never meant to know everything. Don't expect life to be fair. It's not. It never was. Use obstacles as training. Difficulty builds what comfort cannot. Remember, everything is temporary. This feeling will pass. Everything does. Write to calm your racing mind. Get the chaos out of your head. These aren't complicated. They're not even new. but they're what kept 3 men sane through slavery, plague, war, and execution. They'll work for your 3 a.m. anxiety too. Drop a comment. Which rule are you going to try tonight? And where in the world are you watching this from? The mind you have right now doesn't have to be your enemy. These tools can change that. Now go use them.